The NBA playoffs are just around the corner, and the buzz is building as teams make their final push for positioning. Right now, all eyes are on the Boston Celtics. How have they performed this regular season? What will it take for them to go back-to-back as champions? And could we see a major roster shakeup in the offseason? Let's break it all down. First, let's talk about the teams that could throw a wrench in Boston's playoff plans. In the Eastern Conference, we've seen plenty of surprises this year, and history tells us the playoffs rarely go exactly as expected. One team that's been turning heads is the Detroit Pistons. Their defense has been a nightmare for opponents all season, and they've given the Celtics real trouble in their matchups. Keep an eye on Cade Cunningham. He's made a strong case for most improved player, and if he takes his game up another level in the postseason, Detroit could be a real problem. Right now, they're sitting in the top 6 of the East, and if they carry this momentum into the playoffs, they might just push Boston to the limit in a 7-game series. Then there's the New York Knicks, who've had their ups and downs. A lot hinges on Jalen Brunson's health. If he's at full strength, they could make things interesting against the Celtics or the Cavaliers. But if I had to pick one dark horse to watch, it's still Detroit. They've got the toughness, the defense, and the young talent to make life difficult for any contender. Do I think they can actually beat Boston in a series? Probably not, but they could absolutely stretch them to 6 or 7 games. And in the playoffs, every extra minute on the court takes a toll. Now, let's shift to the big question. What does Boston need to do to win it all again? Health is obviously the biggest factor. Jason Tatum's been dealing with a minor ankle issue, and Jaylen Brown's had a share of bumps and bruises. Then there's Drew Holiday, who's been a steady force but can't afford to wear down. The Celtics' path to the finals likely goes through Cleveland, and that's no easy task. The Cavaliers are deep, balanced, and built for playoff basketball. Donovan Mitchell's playing at an MVP level, and with guys like Darius Garland and Evan Mobley around him, they're a nightmare matchup. If Boston gets past Cleveland, the Western Conference champ, likely Oklahoma City, will be waiting. The Thunder have been the biggest surprise of the season, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the charge and Chet Holmgren anchoring the defense. That's a team built for speed, shooting, and versatility, and they'd give the Celtics all they could handle in a final series. So how does Boston navigate this gauntlet? They'll need to take care of business early in the playoffs. No dragging out first-round series, no unnecessary overtime battles. Preserving energy for the later rounds is crucial, and they'll need Tatum and Brown at their absolute best when it matters most. We've seen them rise to the occasion before, but back-to-back titles demand even more. Now, let's talk about the offseason. Could we see a major move? The Celtics are up against the luxury tax, and with new ownership in place, there might be some financial pressure to adjust the roster. One name to watch, Payton Pritchard. He's been a spark off the bench this year, and his affordable contract makes him an attractive trade piece if Boston wants to add another piece. There's also the question of whether they'll look to shake up the core. It's unlikely, but in the NBA, you never say never. Bottom line, the Celtics have the talent to repeat, but the road is brutal. The East is tougher than ever, and the West is loaded with young, hungry teams. If they stay healthy and locked in, they've got a real shot. But one slip-up, one untimely injury, and the door swings wide open for someone else. The road to another championship for the Boston Celtics is paved with both opportunity and landmines. As we look ahead to the playoffs, several key factors will determine whether this squad can secure back-to-back titles or if they'll fall short against an increasingly competitive field. The first and perhaps most critical element is health, an obvious but often overlooked aspect of championship runs. Jason Tatum's recent ankle tweak might seem minor now, but in the grueling marathon of playoff basketball, those small nagging injuries can become major obstacles. Jaylen Brown has shown improved durability this season, but the physical toll of potential 7-game series against teams like Cleveland or Milwaukee will test his limits. Then there's Drew Holiday, whose defensive mastery remains elite, but whose body has accumulated plenty of mileage over his lengthy career. When examining the Eastern Conference landscape, the Cleveland Cavaliers emerge as perhaps the most dangerous potential opponent. Donovan Mitchell has elevated his game to MVP-caliber levels this season, and Cleveland's roster construction presents unique challenges for Boston. The Cavs' combination of youthful athleticism and playoff-tested veterans makes them a particularly tough out. Their ability to switch defensively while maintaining offensive firepower could force Boston into uncomfortable lineups. Milwaukee looms as another serious threat if Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard are fully healthy come playoff time. The Bucks' playoff experience and star power make them a nightmare matchup, especially if Boston has to go through them in later rounds. Looking westward, the Oklahoma City Thunder have rapidly developed into the most formidable potential finals opponent. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ascension to superstardom has been remarkable, and his ability to take over games in crunch time gives OKC a closer who can match Tatum shot for shot. Chet Holmgren's two-way impact as a rookie has transformed the Thunder's defense while providing another dangerous offensive weapon. What makes OKC particularly scary is their depth of young, athletic wings who can switch everything defensively while stretching the floor offensively. Their style of play, fast, spaced, and versatile, could pose serious problems for Boston's defense in a potential finals matchup. The financial realities facing the Celtics in the offseason add another layer of intrigue to this championship pursuit. With the team already deep into luxury tax territory, roster flexibility will be extremely limited. Payton Pritchard's emergence as a reliable rotation player makes him an attractive trade chip, but it's unclear if moving him would bring back significant enough value to justify weakening the bench. Kristaps Porzingis' health remains a wild card. When available, he provides a dimension to Boston's offense that few teams can match, but his injury history makes him a constant question mark. The Celtics front office will need to carefully weigh whether running it back with the same core makes sense or if a bold move is necessary to stay ahead of the competition. Boston's path through the playoffs will require strategic management of minutes and matchups. Early series against lower-seeded opponents need to be handled efficiently. No unnecessary extended series that drain energy before the real tests arrive. Joe Mazzulla will need to balance maintaining rhythm with preserving his star's health, a delicate act that often determines championship outcomes. The Celtics' depth will be tested, particularly in games where foul trouble or unexpected cold shooting stretches require contributions from role players. The mental aspect of defending a championship cannot be overlooked either. The target on Boston's back grows larger with each victory, and every opponent will bring their absolute best effort to dethrone the champs. Maintaining the hunger and focus that propelled them to last year's title, while handling increased scrutiny and pressure, will challenge even this experienced group. The leadership of veterans like Al Horford and Derek White in keeping the locker room focused could prove invaluable during inevitable playoff adversity. When examining potential playoff matchups, the Miami Heat loom as a particularly tricky opponent despite their lower seeding. Miami's culture of toughness and Eric Spoelstra's coaching brilliance have repeatedly turned regular season mediocrity into playoff overachievement. Boston would be wise not to overlook them, regardless of seeding. The Philadelphia 76ers, assuming Joel Embiid returns healthy, present another dangerous first-round possibility with their star power and size advantage. The Celtics' three-point shooting will be under the microscope come playoff time. While their ability to space the floor with multiple elite shooters is a tremendous strength, playoff basketball often sees shooting percentages dip as defenses tighten and scouting becomes more specific. Boston will need to prove they can win games when the three ball isn't falling, whether through increased defensive intensity or by attacking the rim more aggressively. Their ability to adapt when their primary weapon is neutralized will likely determine how deep this playoff run goes. Defensively, the Celtics have all the tools to be elite, but maintaining focus and communication through long playoff possessions will be crucial. Switching schemes can break down against disciplined defensive teams, and Boston's bigs will need to avoid being drawn into unfavorable perimeter matchups. Robert Williams' health and mobility could become a major factor in certain series where his rim protection and athleticism are needed against particular opponents. Boston's championship pedigree gives them an edge in close games, but playoff basketball has a way of exposing any lingering weaknesses. The margin between repeating and an early exit is razor thin, dependent on countless variables from injury luck to officiating to simply getting hot at the right time. What's clear is that this Celtics team has the talent and experience to win it all again, but nothing will be given to them. Every opponent will be gunning for the champs, and Boston's ability to withstand those challenges while playing their best basketball in May and June will write the story of their season. The pieces are in place. Now it's about execution when the lights shine brightest. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Payton Pritchard, once considered a vital contributor to the Boston Celtics rotation, now finds himself at the center of swirling rumors about his future with the team. Despite a significant contract extension signed in the fall of 2023, the 26-year-old guard has publicly expressed his dissatisfaction with his role on the team. With the Celtics gearing up for another championship run, the question arises, could Pritchard be on his way out of Boston? Known for his sharp shooting and playmaking abilities, Pritchard's career has seen its share of highs, including a remarkable performance in the 2024 NBA Finals. However, despite his impressive scoring outbursts and clutch moments, like his game-winning buzzer beaters, Pritchard has struggled to secure consistent minutes. In an era where player roles often determine success, he feels his potential is being stifled, and the lack of consistent opportunity has led to growing frustrations. Pritchard's recent comments echo a sentiment that many Celtics fans have speculated about for months, that he's not being fully utilized. His skill set, highlighted by a career-high 38-point game against the Washington Wizards, deserves more than sporadic minutes. While he's made history with impressive statistical performances, Pritchard's ambitions extend beyond individual accolades. The desire for a more prominent role could lead him to seek greener pastures if the Celtics continue to overlook his talents. With rumors intensifying, the Celtics front office faces a critical decision. Will they continue to hold onto a player who has shown flashes of brilliance, or will they trade him for a piece that better fits their championship aspirations? Boston's deep roster makes Pritchard's place in the rotation increasingly uncertain, and his public discontent could be the catalyst for a change. As the NBA trade deadline looms, Payton Pritchard's situation becomes one to watch closely. Will he remain with the Celtics, hoping for a change in his role, or will a trade offer materialize that opens the door for a fresh start elsewhere? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Pritchard's future in Boston is no longer as secure as it once seemed. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.